Knicks family was popping. Knicks put out a victory over the Washington Wizards. Are they, excuse me, are they locked into that nice spot? Let's check it out. A little bit stuttering to start off, but good win. Yeah, good win, no tank. There's almost no need to worry about losing games right now, right? No need. Kareem, you're in DC. Okay, that's what's up. Should have hit me up, bro. Although I probably wouldn't have been able to do much. I was at a basketball tournament all day. You know what I'm saying? We had a good and bad weekend with my girls. We lost our first two games. We just wasn't ready, mentally wasn't prepared. And then we won today. Came out and had a good victory today, so that was good. You know, and I kind of had to watch the game on the road, but that's all good. You know, but, you know, that's a good win against a team that's fighting for a playoff positioning. I'm with it. I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? Because the Knicks are, they're not moving up or down. We'll talk about it a little bit. But, you know, we played strong. We played hard. We played decent defense. And I like what I saw. I'm glad to get these wins. And I hope we can continue to get the wins. I don't care what anybody says. Who cares about a tank? I hope we can continue to win and continue to prove that we can come together and maybe have something to fight for next season. You know, you got guys trying to win spots in the NBA. Got guys trying to prove that they belong in the NBA. And it's only right that they get a chance to do it without management saying, no, let's lose. You know. So let's look at the box scores a little bit. Excuse me. Check out what we did a little bit. We played tough. We played tough, and you know, a lineup change would do that. Now we've been playing tough, actually. Though we've been playing tough the last few games. It's like there was so much upheaval with the lineup, with players, that you didn't know what to do with the lineups. I'm not making excuses for Jeff, but maybe he just didn't know what to do with the lineups. And maybe he has a better handle on it because it looked a little better today. Just, you know, the rotations in and of itself looked a little bit better today. You know, you're still going to make mistakes, but it looked like he had a better idea of what he was doing. Knicks' biggest lead was 12. The Wizards' biggest lead was 4. And the Wizards are a team that I always thought we matched up against, honestly, and could beat. Wizards had a couple more rebounds than us, 46-44. Excuse my voice, I know it's kind of scratchy. I've been screaming and yelling all day. 26 assists tonight, 10 steals, 6 blocks, 14 turnovers. Our stats are kind of even as far as those numbers are concerned. The Wizards had 46 rebounds, 25 assists, 10 steals, 7 blocks, 14 turnovers. We shot 46.6% from the field, 27.3% to be exact, from 3, and 86% from the line. Still only went to the line 15 times. The Wizards shot 42.5% from the field, 3% from the three-point line. 31.6% from the three-point line, and 73.9% from the free throw line. But they went to the line 23 times. They made 17 free throws. So they still outscored us from the free throw line, even though they shot a lower percentage. Just shows you got to get to the line in the NBA. That line is a big factor in a lot of games. You got to get to the line in the NBA. You know, look at the minutes distribution and the box score. Hardaway 35 minutes, Beasley 31, Cantor 27, Frank still only played 20. Trey Burke 27, Courtney Lee played 27 minutes. Lance played 18, Moutier 20, Troy Williams 12 minutes, Luke Cornett 18. Gotta like those numbers from Luke though. Hardaway 11 points. But what I like is that he didn't go crazy trying to jack up anything just to, just to try to get going. He stayed within what we want to do for the most part. Michael Beasley, 12 points, 9 rebounds. And that's Cantor, 10 points, 11 rebounds. Beasley also had 4 turnovers and 3 assists. Frank, 20 minutes, 2 points, 1 for 6 from the field, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover. Trey Burke, 19 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, 3 steals. And look, regardless of what I think about him being a long-term starting point guard on a really good team, I'm glad to see him get the chance. Because he's been, we'll talk about it. Let me get through this. We'll talk about it. Courtney Lee had 13 points, seemed gracious, okay, coming off the bench, even though he's not working as hard as he was earlier. He's not working as hard as he was earlier. But Courtney Lee, 13 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. You guys see the lineup. You see what's going. You see the rest of the stats here. Luke Cornett, 4 for 7 from the field for 10 points, 2 for 4 from 3-point line, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. I like Luke. I really do. I like what he does, and I like what he's bringing, man. And I think that he's a piece that we can look forward to having in the future, because I like the fact that he spreads the floor. I like the fact that he's long and spreads the floor, because he can bring people outside of the paint, shot blockers outside of the paint, rebounders outside of the paint, because of his size, and he's a 3-point shooter. What's his ceiling? I don't know what his ceiling actually is, but he'll continue to develop and get better in different aspects, and I think that he's he can be a big threat for our team, especially when KP comes back, open the floor up for him to maybe get some action into the lane, penetrating guards to get some action into the lane. He can be a big piece to what we want to do going forward. Nah, man, I'm not screaming at the Knicks, man. I'm screaming at my girls. That's why my voice is like this. Screaming at my girls all day. For the last 2 days. So yeah, my voice is a little, I need to gargle with some salt water or something. But Troy Williams again looked pretty good, 10 points. No rebounds, no assists, no turnovers, 1 steal, 1 block. But but he brings things that we need, of course. Of course. But let's talk about Burke. And actually, before we talk about Burke, shout out to the French Unicorn. You say for the super chat, you say Troy, Cornett, and Trey are all keepers. I'm with you on that. Also want to give a shout out to French Unicorn. Also give a shout out to Marty Knicks, Ishmael Hernandez, BN, Tony NYC. Siobhan says, bro, we winning with the vets. This win is fruitless. I don't know. I mean, let's look at those numbers again. Siobhan, let's look at the numbers again. If I can find it. Here we go. Let's pull that up again. Let's look at the numbers. Tim Hardaway's not really a vet. I mean, no, I'm sorry. He's a young vet. He is a vet. He's a young vet. But he's a guy that's going forward with you into your future. Beasley is a vet, of course. Cantor, I think the question is still out as to whether or not he's going forward with us in the future. Frank's not a vet. He played 20. Trey's not a vet. Well, he's a young vet. And maybe he's going forward with us in the future. Courtney Lee, Lance played 18 minutes. Moutier, Troy, Luke, these are young guys. Isaiah Hicks didn't play any minutes. I don't know if he's in our future anyway. I get it. Maybe you don't want Courtney Lee to play 27 minutes anymore. I get that. But I think, these guys are at least in the mix. They're at least in the mix. But if you don't want Courtney Lee and Michael Beasley to play as many minutes, I understand. I understand what you're saying, Siobhan. Mighty Knicks, man. Appreciate the super chat. Hit me with the big 5-0. Big shout out to you, my brother, man. Thank you. Thank you. You say you love the show, and I really appreciate you for coming in every day, every night. You say shout out to your big bro, the French Unicorn, Ishmael Hernandez, Siobhan Robinson, and Yusuf. And you say you love the show. I really appreciate that, my brother. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mighty Knicks, you say you got that Tim Hardaway Jr. contact coming. Well, that's what's up. If you got that coming, put me in touch. Let's get somebody on the show, or get that dude on the show, or that lady, whoever it is. Let's get them on the show. Now, I want to let's talk about Burke. Let's talk about Burke. Because I am I know what I've said in the past about Trey Burke, and about Trey Burke being a starter, a long-term starter for a good team. But regardless of that, I'm glad he's getting the chance to start, because he's continued to work hard. He's been working his way up from the bottom, right? He's been working his way up from, he wasn't on the squad, although he did have, I got you, Marty. You meant contract. I got you. I was hoping you had a scoop for us, bro. Okay, but I got you. But he's working he worked his way up from not being on the squad, although he could have played for OKC or maybe a couple of other teams with a different contract. But he wanted to work his way up. And he's now, he worked his way up from, he was not on a squad, went to the G League for the Knicks, worked his way through the G League, came to the Knicks, played a few games, produced, still had his playing time, jerked around, and now he's starting, and he has shown some bad body language, but I'm glad he's getting the chance. And I'm willing to give him that chance. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to give him that chance to see if he can indeed be the starter on a really, really good team. I'm not sure he's that kind of guard, but let's see. I just believe he's better suited to be scoring power off the bench, but he deserves the chance. He deserves the chance to prove it. Alwyn, you say he's proven he's an NBA player for years to come. Are you talking about Trey Burke? Trey Burke's been in the league for a while, at least 5 or 6 years or something like that. Let's just hope that he can continue to prove it, right? He's had trouble in the league. For whatever reasons, he's had trouble, whether it be his size, his style of play, not playing defense, whatever it is. He's had some trouble sticking. And he says that he's learned. He says that he's rededicated himself to the game. So let's see if he has rededicated himself to the game. But he played well tonight as the starting point guard. Again, his stats: 19 points, 8 for 15 from the field for 53.3%. 2 rebounds, 3 assists. He also had 2 turnovers. That's okay. He had 3 steals to make up for those turnovers. So let's see if he sticks. Whether or not he is the starter on his team long term, I think he should stick with this team, because even if he is not a starter long term, he is powerful off the bench. As a lightning streak that can come in and give you minutes quickly. Wills, you say Burke could be similar to Jamal Crawford. I agree. He could be similar. Yes, very similar to Jamal Crawford. Obviously not in size, but in the way that he can come in and get you buckets in a minute. He can come right off the bench and hit. That's the benefit of him. But let's give him his chance. If he deserves a chance, let's give him the chance. We'll give him the chance to prove that he can be a starter in this league. He was projected to be a starter in this league, and maybe he veered off the wrong track, but maybe he's back. We'll see what it is with Trey Burke. But by any means, he started. He played well. He had 19. Troy Flett, you say Burke can average 20 a game. Offensively, he probably can. He's accurate. He's got a beautiful mid-range game. He can knock down a 3. He can get to the basket. He probably can average 20 a game. Easy. I think he definitely can. Siobhan Robinson, thank you again for another super chat. You say, shout out to Tony Crow. Now give me my 40. Whoa. Okay. I'll let y'all two have that out. You know what I'm saying? But let's open up the calls. We're going to open it up a little bit early. Let's open up the calls. I want to hear what you guys think about Trey and him starting. And if you really think that Trey is going to be the long-term starter on a really, really good Knicks team. And if you think the Knicks believe he's going to be a long-term starter, or do they believe Frank's going to be the long-term starter, or are they the backcourt of the future? Frank and Trey. We've said for weeks that Frank and Trey look really good together. And obviously the coaching staff believed and seen the same thing. And, because they're like fire and lightning. They play off each other. One can penetrate and kick. One plays defense. One can play defense on multiple positions. So, I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? Is this a starting backcourt for the future? Is Trey Burke a long-term starter? Cody, can you hear me? Call back, Cody. I think we lost you, bro. Justin Alba, big shout out, man. Thank you for the super chat. You say Burke is a great sixth man for the Knicks. So you're saying that that's what you think his future is going to be. You think his future is going to be sixth man. I kind of agree that that's probably what his future would be. That's probably what his future would be with the Knicks. A sixth man. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all, in my opinion. And there's not a reason that your sixth man can't get 30 minutes in the game. Right? You need to have a sixth man that can be a starter. I got my man Cody on the line. Cody, shout out to you. What's up, brother?
Hey, Simeon, what's going on with you, man?
What's up with you, man? So tell me what you think. Do you think Trey Burke is the long-term starter, or is Trey and Frank the long-term backcourt, or is Frank eventually going to take over that starting point guard spot?
Well, you know what? I think Frank has been playing really well off the ball lately. Now, does he have the brain to sometime be like a part-time guard? Yes. But I think the last few games, like he's been really playing well. Just being Mr. Do Everything, right? He plays defense. He give you assists. He give you rebound. I think at his peak, he's like a 15-point, 16-point guy, 5 to 8 rebounds per game, 4 assists. Not bad. Like every championship team, you need a guy like that, right? Like a Iguodala kind of guy who does a little bit of everything. Not the one thing well, but if you need a big shot, he'll take it. If you need a huge stop, he'll take it. So, to me, he's our Iguodala moving forward.
Okay.
Trey Burke, I think next year, because we don't know when Porzingis is going to come in, we're going to need offense. Beasley, his IQ, to me, he's been so inconsistent. The minute that Porzingis went down, Beasley should have just been like, yo, I'm going to show the league. I'm going to show everybody. I'm going to, 20 points a game, 25 points a game, because we know he can do that. But he and Lee, they have not been impressive at all. The last few weeks, they just dropped the ball, especially Lee. I'm so done with Lee right now because he just kind of you know what, I'm done. And I'm just all right, dude, if you're going to be done, then you're done. Tonight is the most energy we've seen from him. And don't get me wrong, I know dude lost someone close to him, so I know mentally he's not there. But I know he checked out even before that.
Yeah, I definitely think Courtney Lee checked out mentally from the team because of, knowing that we're not going anywhere. Given his age, he's 32 years old. He definitely wants to be in a winning situation, I think. And I think that the Knicks will look to move him in the offseason.
And they should. He's been, but you know what? To be we all, I think before everybody was oh, Courtney Lee's a good pro. He's a good locker room guy. Yeah. And part of being a good pro is that you end strong, right?
Exactly.
You do the little things to show everybody okay, I'm gonna end strong. Tonight was the most we've seen from him in at least 4 or 5 weeks. Seriously. Right. And that's not right. So for Trey Burke, I think next year, I think he should start. I think we should make it our offense should be a guard offense, meaning, the offense should definitely go to him and Hardaway, just because we're going to need those numbers. So if he can score, 15 to 20 points a night, more power to him. Next year, Hardaway definitely need to average at least 20, 21 points a game, for sure, for us to at least have a chance to be competitive. You need those two guys to at least be on their game. Last point, Simeon, I think, I'm not sure if you want to do this now or for later. For the chat, do you guys think that we should trade the 9th pick to either the Clippers or Phoenix? So Clippers has 2 picks. So you'll be we'll give them the 9th pick, but they'll have to give us the 13th, 14th pick. And I think Phoenix has the 15th, 16th pick. Because of the draft, the 9th, I think if it seems like we're going to stay with the 9th, I'd rather get a big haul, meaning 2, 3 kids out of the draft, knowing that maybe 1 or 2 will pan out. That's what I gotta say for now.
Say that again. I didn't catch everything. Say that again.
So instead of right now we have the 9th pick. We basically gonna stay with the 9th pick, right?
Probably.
Right. So we have 2 options. We can keep the 9th pick, or we can trade the 9th pick to the Clippers. Now the Clippers have, I think, 13 or 14. They have 2 picks, and Phoenix also have 2 picks, somewhere between 12 and 20, right? And I think we have something like a pick in the mid 30s or low 30s. Can we, for example, tell Clippers, you'll take the 9th pick, but we'll take your 2 picks? Or we say to Phoenix, take our 9th pick, but we'll take your 2 picks. Just to kind of give us that chance to have the 9th pick, if it's a crapshoot. like Kevin Knox, all these guys are still kind of really raw. But let's just take our chances. Okay, we leave maybe the draft with like 3 picks, knowing that 1 or 2 is gonna pan out eventually for us. So we can talk about that later. I know you usually leave that later, but
yeah,
that's what I was going to say.
It's cool. I think that's a very good question. I think that's a good question. I think that's going to depend on, looking at how things fall when the season is over, when the NCAA's are over, and you start looking at where players are projected. Because you said Phoenix has 2 picks now, possibly?
Yeah, if you look at Thickathon, like Phoenix has 2 picks, Clippers have 2 picks.
Right.
So Clippers have 12 and 13, Phoenix has 15 and 16.
12 and 13.
Clippers,
15 and 16, Phoenix.
Right.
I guess it's going to depend on where the Knicks have players falling, and if they're like so high, if they're not like super high on a player, then maybe that's something that they would consider.
Right. I mean, if we have like Kevin Knox, Trey Young, Colin Sexton, if those guys are the only one we have left on the board, and we don't get lucky like a Bemba or Porter falling down, I mean, I think you gotta look at other options.
Right. But if so, you don't think if Mikal Bridges, if he's there, you don't think he's the guy?
Mikal going to the Final Four, man. He's. I mean, if he does well in the Final Four, are they going to let him go down to number 9?
Yeah, I mean, that's the question. That's obviously the question. We don't know if he's going to be able to, if he's going to be there. That's the question. But if he's not there, then somebody's dropping.
Absolutely. Listen, if Bemba drops, we take Bemba. If Michael Porter drops, we should take Michael Porter. I'm just saying, right now, if everything stay as is, like Kevin Knox, Miles Bridges, those guys are going to be the ones that eventually fall all the way down. And
right,
I'm not high on any of those guys. So I'm just saying, like, what would be the second option? Second option to me, I think, would be like to make a deal with the Clippers, to make a deal with Phoenix to kind of see, okay, can we get some other people in here?
Right, and see if we can pull in 2 draft picks for 1. Hey, that could be an option. That could definitely be an option. Yeah. So, hey, I thank you for the call, man. I appreciate it.
Man. Appreciate it. Thank
you. That's a good option for us to keep on the table and really start to look at it and talk about that as we talk about our little war room. That's always something to put on the table. We'll put that on the table. Appreciate the call, man. Thank you.
No problem. Later.
All right, have a good one. Peace, bro. Yeah, that's definitely a good question as we're looking forward. But I want to hear some more. I want to hear some more ideas. I want to hear what you think about Trey Burke and him being one of our future, being the future point guard or a future backcourt between Trey Burke and Frank. You know what I'm saying? So let me hear what you think about that. And I got on the line, my man Tony Crow on the line. I'm about to bring him up on the screen in a minute. All right. Tony, I'm getting to you, bro. Tony, you're on the line. You good. You're live. What's up, bro? What's popping?
Yo, Black, it's time. Yo, chat, what up? Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Mighty Nick. Shout out to Shavon. What's good?
So what's your take on Trey Burke and Frank? Is that long-term starting backcourt?
I mean, I don't think anything right now is solidified long-term for sure, but I like what I saw. Mm-hmm. I definitely, we've been saying this for a few weeks now, we like them together. So, I mean, yeah, I would go that route in the draft right now as far as not getting a point guard, mm-hmm. and giving Trey his shot. I think he earned his shot. So yeah, I would definitely give it a full year.
So you think that? I mean, we've been talking about not drafting a point guard, but you think that Trey Burke is definitely a reason not to draft a point guard, even if one of your top point guards falls to you.
The top 2 point guards is what, Sexton and Trey Young, right?
Yeah, I think
I'm not sold on Trey Young right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly haven't seen a lot of Sexton, but from what I hear, Sexton is the truth. But that just leaves a big hole at small forward. We don't have a true small forward at all.
Right.
You know, and if we could get a true small forward, I think I would go that route, and rock with Trey and Ntilikina. I hear a lot of people saying, Ntilikina is not a point guard, and he's gonna grow, and he's probably he might end up being our small forward. You never know. But he has point guard skills.
Right. If he ends up being the size of a small, if he ends up being 6'7", he could be like a Grant Hill type.
Exactly.
Guy, you know what I'm saying? All around triple double threat.
That's a beautiful comparison. I mean, granted, it'd take a lot to reach Grant Hill's peak.
Yeah, of course. And I'm not saying that he would be Grant Hill. Yeah, he's not saying he's the second coming, but if he's 6'7",
that's a great comparison.
He could be that kind of a player that Grant Hill was.
That's his exact game. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's just not the focal point.
Right. Right.
But I wouldn't draft a point guard. What the last caller was saying, I actually had brought that up a few weeks back. I actually brought it up as if we moved up and did it.
Yeah, I remember.
I would definitely do it at the 9th pick to get 12 and 13 or 15 and 16. I would definitely do that. This is a deep draft, and I think in that range you got the same amount of talent. From like, especially a 12, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th pick are not going to be that much better than the 10th, the 11th, the 12th pick.
Okay.
In my opinion, especially like I think certain people are going to fall. I'm a lot higher on Knox than I was early in the season. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to translate way better in the pros. I think he was kind of held back because he wasn't the featured player. So I think Knox is going to be a lot better. He may fall. I don't know. I think we got a lot of options.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah, a lot of options in it. Steve Mills and Scott Perry got to really decide on the direction of the team, and how they want to go and how they want to build the team. And if, of course, if Jeff Hornacek is the guy, and if he's not the guy moving forward, then you need to bring in your coach so that he can help you build that direction and where you want to go. I mean, I know that they said that the direction is, to get young guys that want to play defense, right? Young guys that are going to play hard and keep it 25 and under. But, what's the style of play that we're playing? I understand bringing in those young guys, but also we need to know what the style of play is going to be, so that we can, when we get to that draft, we can figure out, what are we doing? Do we want to trade down and get 12 and 13 or 15 and 16 or whatever it is, or do we have somebody at the 9th spot that we're really sold on, and
if we're gonna get a point guard, then getting 2 picks in the first round, I think then I wouldn't be too mad, because there's a lot of good. The Brunson kid, Rick Brunson's son,
right?
he could potentially move into the first round. He's a good point guard. There's a lot of like senior point guards that are real good. That I wouldn't mind taking late first, or a second round pick.
Yeah. Well, we got a lot of options and a lot of things that we can do. And look, somebody try to get on your blinds in the back, man. Don't let them get away with that. All right, don't let him get away with that. That was James Willie. Don't let him get away with that.
I'm about to do spring cleaning. I usually hide it too. That's the funny part.
Yeah.
They hate. How about that? I'll buy a couple new blinds.
Yeah. Hey, Tony, thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it.
No doubt, yo. Shout out to the chat, right. Yo, Blackest Time. I'll catch you next game.
All right. Peace out, brother.
What?
All right. So, since we on to it, we've been talking about it. It looks like the Knicks are going to be locked in at that 9th spot. All right. We got about, 6 games left to the season or something like. I don't know how many games we got left in the season. Not many games left to the season. Let me just pull this. I just want to pull up. I'm pulling up the standings right now. So give me a second because I kind of don't know where I'm at. Here we go. All right. So our record is, come on now. Our record is 27-47. That is 74 games. So we got 8 games left to the season. All right. I don't see us. Let's go back to Tankathon. Take a look at Tankathon. Let me update this right quick. So right now we are in this. We're right here at the 8th spot. Tankathon still has it. I mean, right here at the 9th spot. Tankathon has us with Mikal Bridges. If you take a look at the full order, if it'll switch over. Oh, that's the full order. Let's look at the draft power rankings and things. I don't know, man. We're 9-38 right now. Go back to the mock draft. Just above us is Chicago. Just below us is Philly through the Lakers. And if you take a look at those, their standings, you look at the remaining schedule strength. I mean, with the Lakers, we're kind of right here bunched up in there. I don't know. I think we're there. This is going to be, we're there at this 9th spot, most likely. I don't know if there's any, people are going to tell us and say to continue to tank. I don't think that we might as well win, right? I think the closest team to us, behind us, is we're 6 games above them in the standings. So I think that we're kind of there. Maybe we could get that 8th spot, maybe. But I think we are, this is where we're going to be. We're going to be in this 9th spot. All right, when you're looking at it here, you see with this Lakers-Philadelphia thing going on, we got a 6-game separation. With Chicago's a 2.5 game, but I don't know. I don't think that even if we lose the rest, they're going to lose as well. I don't think we catch them. I don't think we catch them. And I don't think the Lakers catch us. So I think right here is where we're going to be, and we can probably be safe at figuring that we're gonna pick in that 9th spot. Jonathan Raymond, you say you really want that 8th spot. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see us getting it. You see what Chicago's doing. They're not even playing, they're when they came to New York, they didn't even bring their guys with them. I just don't think that, they're seriously like, hey, we're tanking and that's it. We're not trying to compete, So I think this is where we're going to be. And this is where we should settle in. And so then the question is, who do we like at that 9th spot? Which is what we've been doing in the NBK War Room. Right? Who do we like there? And it's going to be, we all want Mikal Bridges. That's who our number 1 pick is right now. Right? Right now, that's who our number 1 pick is as far as we are concerned. But I don't think it's going to be that. He's in the Final Four. Villanova's in the Final Four. Right? BN, you say, why can't we pull what the Bulls are doing? Because, I'm going to get back to Mikal, but because what's the point if we're going to just remain in the ninth pick? Why just, I don't know. What's the point if we're going to remain in the 9th pick? If we're going to remain at that 9th pick, we might as well try to compete if we're going to stay there anyway. Now, I agree with competing with the young guys so that the young guys can play. You know what I'm saying? I agree with that. But I think we try to compete and try to build something for next year. Especially if you're playing against teams. If we're playing teams that are fighting for the playoff spot and we're able to compete with them and knock a couple of them off like we did tonight, that starts to build confidence that this team can compete with anyone in the league, even if the guys are young. And playing in those type of games, the young guys are going to get better experience. They're going to learn more because they're playing in tightly contested games and battles, So, yeah, I don't like what Chicago is doing. I don't respect that. I'm saying I don't respect that at all. And especially if we're basically right now pigeonholed into that 9th seed, there's no point in it. There's no point in it at all because this is where we're probably going to be. You know what I'm saying? You say if we didn't win the last few games. I don't know. We didn't beat Minnesota. Right? When is the last few games? Well, let's go back. Let me go back a minute. Let me go back a minute. Okay, so we beat the Wizards. We lost to Minnesota. We lost to Miami. Then before Miami, we beat Chicago. And we beat Charlotte. Right? Okay, so we won three games of the last 5. 1, 2. That's a loss. That's a loss. Right. So we won 3 of 5. Right. So you're saying if we just lost those games, then maybe we'd be in that 8th spot if we just lost those games. Whip-de-doo. And that's a maybe we'd be in that 8th spot. I don't know. I just don't think it's worth it. Yeah, you said if we didn't win the last few, right? If we didn't go 3 of 5 and we just lost all of them, we probably are still. If we're not in the 9th spot, then we're in the 8th spot. 1 spot up. I guess it could help. I don't know. I just think right now if we're pigeonholed into that 9th spot, let's just play basketball. I think we're trying too hard to do some dumb stuff. I think maybe the Knicks aren't. I don't know exactly what their internal conversations are like, but the Tankster Wanksters are. The Tankster Wanksters are worried about all this crazy stuff that really doesn't work anyway. But and at the 9th pick, I mean, let's not get crazy. The 9th pick, we're going to be able to get a very good player. We should get a very good player at the 9th pick, a guy that is a building block. I really believe that. Then Mighty Knicks, you say pray for the lottery. Man, hey, maybe. You never know. It's not impossible to move up in the draft. The percentages don't look in our favor, but that's okay. I'm cool with where we are. Mighty, you say we would have been 7th. You don't know that. It depends. It all depends on what everybody else would have done. Who knows? But I'm cool with the 9th pick. I'm satisfied with it. I have no problems with it at all. No problems with it. The Tankster Wanksters can worry about it. I let the Tankster Wanksters worry about it. I'm not. What I'm worried about is how the Knicks maneuver with that 9th pick. That's what I'm worried about. How the Knicks going to, what kind of, are they high on Bridges? Either of the Bridges. High enough to say we're keeping this 9th pick? Are they not high on players and would like to trade down? Can they use Courtney Lee to move up or collect more draft picks? That's the type of thing. Those are the type of things that I'm worried about. Can they find a way to maneuver so that we can collect more draft picks, try to collect some young talent, and then see what happens over the summer? If there's moves that we can make over the summer. That's what I'm worried about right there. And I'm not worried about if we are going to lose games to try to get to that 8th pick. So that's where I'm at. Ben, you say I got you all wrong. You hate losing, but we need personnel for a couple of years. The only way is the draft. That's definitely not the only way. That's definitely not the only way. Look, we've been over it. Most of your teams in the league, especially your championship teams, have probably 80% free agency players from free agency. 80% of the players are from free agency. Right? Some of their core players may be players that they draft, and I'm not discounting the draft. My point is you've got to do both. You're not going to build entirely through the draft because you only get 1 to 2 players a year through the draft. So you're definitely not building entirely through the draft. You've got to be able to draft correctly. You got to be able to scout, draft, and then develop. You've got to be able to scout your free agents, determine which free agents are really going to fit your team, and then sign those free agents with a decent contract. That's a big part. You've got to be able to have players that you develop coming out of the G League or however it is, and beating the bushes, getting players that you can develop. It takes all of that, not just the draft. It takes all of that. Siobhan, you say it's the only way because free agents avoid the the Knicks like the plague. They avoid the Knicks because the Knicks are a franchise that is they're not organized. They're not they don't have the leadership and the structure in place. We're hoping that changes with Scott Perry. But there is just no way. There's just no way that you're going to build your team entirely through the draft. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You're going to get 1 or 2 players every year. Name one squad in the NBA that all of their players come from the draft. You can't. There's not one. Especially not championship teams. You get your players through trade. You get your players through free agency. And when we talk about free agency, we're not just talking about stars. You get pieces. You get building blocks. You know what I'm saying? There are multiple ways to build your team. The draft is one of them. That doesn't mean I discount the draft, but the draft is one of them. The draft is one of them. I'm so tired of hearing about Philly. Philly's been at this for like 6 to 7 years. And they've gone through, do you know the last 10 drafts or whatever it is, how many first round draft picks Philly has had? They have 3 of them that have stuck. 3 of them that have stuck. We'll see. And what's his name was just drafted last year. We'll see what happens with him. I get tired of hearing about Philadelphia because they've been at it doing this thing forever. There's only one team that semi-tanked and actually won a championship from semi-tanking. And that was the Spurs. And let me tell you this. The Spurs didn't deliberately tank. Right? Back then when it was Dave Robinson and that's in those squads, they didn't deliberately tank. They were 50 and 60 win teams before David Robinson got hurt. And they were championship contenders. Dave Robinson got hurt. He meant so much to the team that they just weren't good. And so then they got a high draft pick and they drafted Tim Duncan. And then he joined a team that was really, really, really good already. Tim Duncan joined a team that was really, really, really good. So they didn't actually decide to tank. They were kind of forced into that situation. That is the only team that semi-tanked that actually has won a championship. And how many years ago was that? Other than that, teams have not tanked and won a championship. Have teams been bad and got good draft picks? Yes. Right? Teams have been bad and got good draft picks. But teams have not tanked and then become championship contenders. It hasn't happened. You know what I'm saying? And BN, you're wrong. They did not tank. See, I don't know what your idea of tanking is. Just because a team has a losing record doesn't mean that they're tanking. Tanking means that you lose purposely. Purposely lose. That's what tanking is. The San Antonio Spurs did not purposely lose. The San Antonio Spurs were championship contenders before David Robinson went down. The Celtics did not tank either. Danny Ainge strategically built that team. And if you look at who they have, they traded draft picks so they can get Kyrie. They don't have their draft picks. Right? They strategically they traded. They were smarter than the Brooklyn Nets, right? The Celtics, they traded Paul Pierce, KG. They traded them guys so that they could get the Nets draft picks. And they drafted off of the Nets. It was the Nets who sucked and helped out the Celtics. You know what I'm saying? It was the Nets who sucked and helped out the Celtics. But if you look at the Celtics roster, pull it up here. You know, they're not built off of entirely draft picks right now. They're built off of really good management. Really good management. You know what I'm saying? Danny Ainge has been masterful in the way that he has managed that team. And it's it's beautiful to see. It really is. You know, if you look at their roster. Okay, they drafted Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, free agency, Al Horford, free agency, Kyrie Irving, traded. They traded for Kyrie Irving. For Greg Monroe, free agency. Marcus Smart was a draft pick. I think Terry Rozier, I think he's a draft pick. Of course, Jason Tatum. Right? I think he was a draft pick, I believe. But their main players, the main players they have on their squad right now, their big three, were not drafted to the Boston Celtics. Their main players were not drafted to the Boston Celtics. I mean, some of their role players were drafted. Now, Jason Tatum one day may be one of their main players. He may be. He's that good. I really, really like Jason Tatum. But that wasn't even their draft pick. That was the Brooklyn Nets draft pick. Right? That was good management. And that's what I'm talking about. Right? They were smart enough not to draft folks. They had the number one pick, and they said, nope, we're going to go down. We'll trade down, and we'll take Jason Tatum. Because we like him. And again, CP the artist, that's good management. Right? That's good scouting. That's knowing your team and your system, what you want and what you need. That's good scouting. That's what we need more than just tanking. You know, we need good scouting, good player development. That's what we need more than just tanking and saying we're going to get a good player in the draft. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. You know, and so, no, the Celtics never really tanked to try to get the number one draft pick. They relied on the Brooklyn Nets to do that. I don't know. Tanking hasn't worked. I don't think it's going to work. You know, that's my opinion. And people who bring up the San Antonio Spurs are misinformed because the Spurs never really tanked, man. You know, they never really tanked. You think that they told David Robinson, get hurt so that we can get the number one pick? No. They were a championship contender. Before then, David Robinson got hurt. The team was built around David Robinson. Just like the Cleveland Cavalier teams that were built around LeBron. And as soon as he left, even though they had the same squad, besides LeBron, they couldn't do anything else because everything was built around LeBron. The same way with the Spurs, everything was built around David Robinson. So when he was out, he was that key piece, and they couldn't really compete. And so they were a terrible team. They drafted Tim Duncan, who joined what was actually a very good team. So that's that, man. All this tanking. The tanks the wanksters. Go somewhere with that. Go somewhere with it. But since we're talking about the 9th pick, let's take a look at the Final Four. Right? Because the Final Four is set. It is set. Good to go. Loyola Chicago, 11th seed, moves on up into the Final Four versus Michigan. And then Villanova and Kansas, that's going to be a monster of a game. And our boy, he's going to be prime time. He's going to be prime time. You know what I'm saying? And we'll see. We're going to find out, really see what the brother is made of. We know what he's made of. Excuse me. We know what he's made of. And, if he comes out, he comes out and he really, really plays well, we're going to find out what people think of him. Against Texas Tech, 12 points, 5 rebounds, no assists. Kind of, a little bit of a, not a bad game, but kind of quiet a little bit. And maybe that helps us out. Maybe that keeps him around that 9th spot. We'll see. But so there we go. We have it set. We are set for the Final Four. I don't know. What's you guys' predictions? Who do you guys see? You see Villanova and Loyola Chicago. Will Loyola Chicago take it all the way there? What do you guys think about that Final Four? These Final Four matchups. I mean, I think Loyola Chicago can do it. I think they might be able to do it. Michigan's not going to be a cakewalk, obviously, but I think Loyola Chicago can do it. I like the root for the underdog, so I'd like to see him do it. But I'd like to see Villanova, because I'm supporting Bridges. I'd like to see Villanova go ahead and win it. Stephen Kennedy Jr. said, "Don't ever disrespect Michigan." Woo! Look at that. My man said, don't ever disrespect Michigan. I'm sure Tim Hardaway and Trey Burke is telling me the same thing. Don't ever disrespect Michigan. John Caven says he sees Kansas winning it all. Villanova and Kansas will be great. It's going to be great. That's going to be a game to watch. We'll see. Well, we're going to see how it is. We're going to see how it goes. We'll see what happens, man. I'm kind of rooting for Villanova. I'm rooting for Villanova to win it all. That's who I'd like to see win. Mainly because I support Bridges, and they're kind of, I'm rooting for Nova. Michigan pays the players, okay? So there's our Final Four. We'll get to continue to watch future small forward of the New York Knicks, Kyle Bridges. Maybe get to continue to watch him play, watch him develop, see what he's going to do. And hopefully he's there for us at that 9th spot. And it'll be nice to have, if he wins it all, to have a player, a guy with championship pedigree, a guy that, is going to know what it takes to win. Even though he's a young guy, but knows what it takes to win. The sacrifices and things he's got to make. I think that makes him so much more. The fact that they've went deep, it makes him a bigger prospect, and it's scary as a Knicks fan because you want him, and then you're kind of like, it might not happen. Of course, the Knicks, like you guys said back, the Knicks are cursed. Got that Patrick Ewing curse. So, we're going to see what's happening. We're going to see what's going on with it. But that's the Final Four for us right now. Not right now. That's the Final Four. I do think Loyola Chicago can do it. I'm rooting for the underdog. Like to see Villanova, though. You know, if it's Loyola Chicago and Villanova in the championship, I'm rooting for Villanova. If it's Loyola Chicago and Kansas, I'm rooting for Loyola Chicago. If it's Michigan and Villanova, I'm rooting for Villanova. If it's Michigan and Kansas, I don't know. Yeah, I'll just be watching, I guess. Just be watching. Yep. So that's the Final Four. Let's take a quick. I want to hear some call-ins. Any more call-ins out there? I want to hear what you guys think about the Final Four. A little bit about what you think. You know, what do you think about what we could do? Some maneuvering we could do come draft time. You know what I'm saying? Are there anything that you'd like to see the Knicks do? Any ideas that you have about what the Knicks should do or how they should maneuver in the coming, once the season ends and then the days leading up to the draft? You know, what do you see the Knicks? What should the Knicks be doing? My man Yusuf, what's poppin', bro? What's happening with you?
Oh man, first and foremost, I just want to say the last time I called in, there was a lot of static in the background because I had it on the TV. Couldn't mute the TV because I couldn't find the remote. Yeah. So the chat was roasting me. I'm sorry, y'all. But hey, we're doing what we do best, and that's putting ourselves in a position to be arm's length at the player that we want and need, but not really get him. Uh-huh. So it's like we want to get Mikal, but the way he's playing and where we're ending up in the draft, it's not really meshing. So I don't know. We'll see. There are good options. You know what I mean? Something tells me Scott Perry, being somebody that's from Michigan, he's gonna want to get a Michigan kid. So Miles might be an option. Okay. Mikal, I think, is the best fit, but we can go in different directions. Like if we can grab a center, if we can, try to get maybe a small forward that we can take a flyer on in the second round, like Chandler Hutchinson or something like that, or even Keita Bates-Diop. That would be nice. But just to go back to what you were saying earlier, teams are not built by just drafts. Like this is facts. Like you show me a team that was like people are just looking at the Warriors model. They drafted Clay. They drafted Curry. They drafted Draymond. Draymond was in the second round. He was fat.
He was in the second round.
He was fat.
Right.
Nobody wanted him. Let's be real. We could have got him. We didn't get him. You know what I mean? So it's like he developed, right? That's what we're lacking. We're lacking that player development. We never developed anybody, right? It's you come to New York, show us what you got, and it's like playing 5-on-5. If you don't play good, you sit, and that's just how it goes. And then we trade guys, and you know what I mean. That's just kind of how it's been going lately. Right. Curry, they got him on a good deal. If he was this Curry in his first few years, they couldn't afford anybody. They would have to give him the max, but they gave him that 4-year, $40 million extension at the time. Right,
because early in his career he was hurt.
He had potato chips as ankles. Yep. You know what I mean? He kept breaking his ankles every single time. He was small. He got a little bigger. He developed his game, and now he's one of the best. And exactly, you know what I mean?
Curry was picked 7th. He was 7th round pick. Klay Thompson was an 11th round pick.
Exactly. Who went first that year? If you don't mind me asking, was it like Blake? Maybe.
Let's see.
09 draft. I think it was. It might have been Blake.
2009 draft.
I think it was Blake. Because I seen a video a while back that was like All-Star Weekend, and then Blake was walking around.
Blake.
He's sunning everybody.
Right.
He's going up to guys.
Now, peep this. I'm putting it up on the screen.
Go ahead.
Right. So the first pick was Blake. Second pick is Hasheem Thabeet.
Not even in the NBA. Keep going.
Hasheem Thabeet. Then you got James Harden.
Good player.
Tyreek Evans. Ricky Rubio. Johnny Flynn.
Trash.
And then Steph Curry.
There you go.
Right.
Jordan Hill, DeMar DeRozan,
Brandon Jennings, Terrence
Like, do you
Williams.
see the gaps in this draft? It's like Blake, star. Harden, star. Curry, star.
Curry, star.
DeRozan, star.
Star.
Keep going. Drew Holiday, serviceable starter. Ricky Rubio, serviceable starter. Brandon Jennings, in and out of the league right now. Terrence Williams. You don't even want to know what that guy's up to right now. I know people that know what that guy's up to right now. You don't want to know what that guy's up to right now.
Don't even want to know.
Yeah, I'm not even one of them.
You got Jeff Teague was drafted.
You got Jeff Teague.
Down at 19.
Who else is there?
You know what I'm saying?
Psycho T?
Let's go a little deeper. Taj Gibson.
Keep going.
It's 26.
Yep.
Who else we got down here? Let's see who. Was there anyone in the second round that's still sticking around? Patrick Beverly was number 42.
There you go. And he spent a year in Europe I think he got drafted second round, but I think he went to go play Europe or something like that, and then he came to the NBA. So, you know what I mean? Tony Douglas. We got Tony Douglas.
Right.
Look at Wayne Ellington just chilling there. DeMar Carroll's chilling there.
Yeah, I mean,
DeJuan Blair had no ACLs.
Right. No, exactly.
Chase Budinger, redhead, not in the NBA anymore.
I mean, there's players all over the draft.
Patty Mills.
You know what I'm saying? Patty Mills. Yeah, Patty Mills was in this draft, but he's second round way down here at number 55. That's when you're picking out players, when you're picking out players from down. Look, Danny Green.
Yeah.
Number 46. Of
That's
course, he wasn't. He wasn't drafted by San Antonio, but I mean.
And that's the thing. Like, if you go to these drafts, could you pull up 2014 if you don't mind?
Yeah.
2014.
Pull that up.
Like that one, we thought at the time wasn't a good draft, but now that we look at it, these are guys that are coming up slowly. You know what I mean? And what people don't understand is that was 4 years ago. So whoever we get in 2018 might not be anybody till 2022.
Right.
Like, we got lucky with Kristaps. He was a great player out the gate. Like, he showed us, okay, he's more than just a guy that gets putbacks. Like, people are forgetting this guy led the league in blocks before he got hurt.
Right.
He was a third-year All-Star. Only 2 guys did that in that draft, and that was him and Towns. And in my opinion, I think he's better than Towns because he plays both sides of.
I'm not sure.
Don't get me wrong.
Towns is a monster, man.
Towns is a monster. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like you got to be able to play both sides, and he might be in a situation right now where it's like, you know what I mean? Tim, it's Butler, it's Wiggins, and this and that, and he's not getting it. If he gets his defense down, he'll be light years ahead of Kristaps. But right now, as it stands, I feel like Kristaps might have a slight edge on him. That's just me being a Knicks fan. Don't get me wrong. Cool. But look at this draft.
Right.
Now, if we're lucky, we'll get a draft like this year, where guys look at Gary Harris chilling at number 19.
Right. Yep. At number 19.
You get what I'm saying? So don't get so caught up in the numbers. Like, yeah, we're 9th, but 9th means in this draft Noah Vonleh, but look at everyone that was taken before him and all the way down to 19. It's like it's a crapshoot. Like Zach LaVine's in there.
Clint Capella, 25.
Clint Capella from Switzerland. Nobody knew who he was.
You know what I'm saying?
People were raving about Dante Exum. Where is he?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mitch McGary, he's out of the NBA. I think he violated some. He was like smoking weed or something. Rodney Hood, Shabazz Napier won the whole tournament. The whole tournament.
Yeah.
That year.
Yep.
Got taken 24th. And he's doing good in Portland, but look at the end of the draft. Kyle Anderson, serviceable, very serviceable.
So I mean, this is
it don't matter where we land.
You just don't know who's going to be what. It takes good scouting. You don't know what players are going to end up being when they get in the league, man.
Yeah, you don't know who you're going to get, and
you don't know who you're going to get.
It's really a crapshoot, and we just got to pray that we get the best player.
Yep.
I don't care where we land. Who knows? Like maybe the better option for us might be let's trade with maybe like the Clippers or something and get those 2 picks in the lottery that they have. I think it's like 11 and something like that. They're like in that 11-13 range.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe snag two guys in the top 15.
Yeah, that's what some people were saying earlier. And I know
Yeah.
Tony Crow said something about it a couple weeks ago.
Exactly.
You know,
So that could be an option, but would you rather, like looking at what you got on the screen, would you rather a TJ Warren and a James Young or a Julius Randle?
Right, and that's the thing.
So it can go.
That's the thing. Right. What would you rather? You know what? I guess it's going to be where does Scott Perry see the team?
Exactly.
You know, and how many holes we need to fill.
Yep.
You know,
and what we're willing to get rid of. Like, not get rid of. What are we willing to sacrifice?
Exactly. What are we willing to sacrifice? And you know, can Courtney Lee get us another draft pick? I don't know if he can get us. I don't know if someone
maybe late first, because
a first round, maybe a late first, maybe.
Yeah, I would think it's going to be like late, like in the teens or the early 20s, because those are the teams that are going to need his services.
Right. And then one of those teams, they've got to have cap room. And see, this is why I don't think it happens for Courtney Lee, unless there's some kind of 3-team deal going on, because
exactly.
It's going to be a contender that wants Lee, right? It's not going to be a young team. It's going to be a contender that wants Lee. Most contenders don't have salary cap space to eat up his contract.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And, so they're going to have to move players as well.
Exactly. And I see BN said no smart team wants to give up 11 or 13 for 1-9. I know that. What I'm saying is the deal would be like 9 for 11 to 13 plus maybe like a future second or you know what I mean, something along those lines. It doesn't have to necessarily be straight up 11 to 13 for 9, but you never know. There's some teams that are desperate. Like if you saw what I think was it Miami wanted to give Charlotte like 3 picks. No, I think Boston wanted to give Charlotte 3 picks for number 10 in 2015, and then Charlotte was like, "Nah, we're gonna take Kaminsky." Or something like that. Like it was one of those deals where it's like, in hindsight, they should have taken that deal.
They should have taken it, right?
Exactly. So we don't know. There might be some desperate teams out there, and they're like, "Hey, we'll give you this player. You can plug him in right now. Give us number 9, and we swap picks or whatever it is." And who knows? It could be a good look. So we just gotta pray. We gotta wait and see. All these guys in college, you know, there's something right now, but there'll be something when they get to the NBA. And Kobe got taken 13th. Donovan Mitchell 13. Like,
right.
It depends on who you get.
You know, and people just don't get it.
Yeah.
You know, they're stuck on this whole phenomenon, and I really don't understand why, because it just hasn't worked.
Yeah, and if you ask me, I think we got to really look forward to just drafting well this year and next year. And that free agency is where we're going to round out, you know, where we are as a team. And then it's going to take some years to gel and click, because LeBron is still 6'8", 240. Like, he's still running up and down the court. Like, we got to worry about him too.
Yep. And before I let you go, just look at this with me.
Yeah, for sure.
I have the Philadelphia 76ers draft picks dating back to, I mean, it goes back forever, but, you know, we can look back to about 2013. You can go back to
Michael Carter Williams, Nerlens Noel,
I mean,
Alfred Payton. They swapped that for Dario Saric. They got, I think Nick Stauskas was one of them. Yeah, they drafted Juwan Evans, but they traded him. Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot, he played in Serbia, Mekalex. Let's see, Furkan Korkmaz. I don't even know if he came over just yet. Who else is there? That Willie Hernan-Gomez pick is ours, actually. So they traded that to us.
I think we bought it from them.
Oh, yeah, we bought it from them.
Something like that.
Let's see. Glenn Rice Jr., he's on the NBA. Bo Harkless is gone.
I mean, he's in
Portland.
You know, all the way from 2012, I guess we go. They've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 first round draft picks. And how many of them are still on the team?
Yeah.
You got 1, 2.
Yeah, you just got to swap, say, Peyton for
1,
Saric.
2, right.
And what else? So it's really they hit on Saric, Embiid, Simmons. and there's no other real contributors.
And we don't know about Markelle Fultz.
Yeah, we don't know where Fultz is right now.
We don't know
so
what Fultz is going to be.
But where are they at right now in the standings? I mean, they're doing pretty good. It just took a very long.
It's 2018. It took them 6 years.
Yeah.
It took them 6 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
It is. But I feel like it should count from when you get your first bona fide stud. So I'm going to give them from Embiid onwards. Because for us, it was Kristaps onwards. So 15 until
they've been doing this trust the process all the way
for
back
a long time
since 2012. They've been like, let's just trust the process. Let's trust the process, and that process has been 6-7 years long.
For sure. My thing is, I feel like when you hit that first, like Embiid, they got him in 2014, although he didn't play and With us, we got the liberty of saying we got Kristaps in 2015. He's on his third year right now, and he's going on his fourth, and by then we'll have bona fide youngsters around him, Hardaway, and guys like that. And once we're able to round out this year, next year, plus some free agency, I mean, if we were talking 6 years, that puts us at like say 2021, and that's when hopefully we can compete. Hopefully LeBron's not in the league. Hopefully some of these teams in the East aren't exactly who they are anymore, and we just got to worry about the teams that are young and really strong right now. Yep. That's Miami. That's Boston. I don't see Cleveland as being a threat. I just see LeBron wherever he goes, right? He's a walking stimulus package. So wherever he goes is going to be a problem. Toronto's still probably going to be really good, and that's really all we got to worry about in the East, I feel like, in Milwaukee and Washington to a certain extent. So, again, we got to just trust our process, trust Scott Perry, got to get a good coach in there and, see where it goes.
See where it goes. I hear you.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yep. I hear you.
Yeah, my bad. I had you on the line last time really long, so you can feel free to pull the plug on me anytime, man.
We're going to move on to the...
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you, man.
Always,
Thank you for the call. And
anytime, man.
I'll talk to you soon, bro.
No doubt. Take care, man. Thanks for all you're doing, man.
Appreciate it, man. Peace. And to be honest with you folks, and this is just my opinion, I'm not sure that Ben Simmons is even going to stay with Philadelphia. I really feel that he wants to be in LA. I'm sure you guys have seen the videos of him wearing, before the draft, wearing Magic Johnson jerseys. If you've seen the documentary of him, he was really hyped about the chance of going to LA. He was kind of meh about Philadelphia. I think when he gets the chance to be an unrestricted free agent, I think he's really going to look hard at going to LA if LA has that has the cap space available. That's just my opinion. I think that he wants to be in LA. I honestly can see Ben Simmons in LA. He seems like an LA type of player to me that would fit the Los Angeles Lakers whole mystique. That's what it seems like to me, and that's what I think is going to happen. I definitely could be wrong, but that's what I think is going to happen. I think that's where he really wants to be. You know what I'm saying? And Marty, he might even play with Lonzo. You know what I'm saying? He might even play with him, but I really could see that happening. I could see that happening. And we'll have to wait a couple years to find out. But that's what I see. So, to end the show off, we're going to end it off with the MBK War Room. And, we have, it has been updated this evening. We have, you can go on and you can vote. You can vote for first round and second round. Website, nothingbutnicks.com. All right. So, and I keep it updated. It's been updated today. You can see, so round one, this is what we think right now. I have to look and see if there's anyone else that we need to add into this first round group of players. And then here's the, second round, who we're looking at in the second round. So right now, based on you guys' votes, this is who we, are looking at the possibilities in the second round. And who knows? Some of these guys that we have in the second round may even go to the first round, go in the first round. But this is what's here. We had, you can vote about who should be the next coach. And I think I'm going to put a poll up about who should be, if we need to, if we should trade down for the 12th and 13th pick or 15th and 16th pick. So yeah, it's up. Take a few minutes and go in here and participate with what we got going on. And you can leave comments, leave any comments that you like. I'm looking at the comments all the time and looking at players for us to update and add to our war room board. You know what I'm saying? And we'll keep following this all the way to the draft. You know what I'm saying? Keep following it all the way to the draft. So the NBK war room is up and it's rolling. And I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what you guys think. All right. But it's late. I've been at it all weekend. Been a really, really busy weekend for me. You know what I'm saying? An exciting weekend. I had, the show I had the event I had to do. You guys see me from. It was called the Big Hair Ball. It's kind of wild. It was fun. Something really different. But you guys, see me. I jumped on live from there. And then, we had games this weekend. And we lost the first two games. It was tough. This was our first tournament. But then we came back. We responded. And we won that third game. And, and the team that we beat in the third game actually beat one of the teams we lost to. If we had our heads on straight, we would have been able to win a couple of those other games. But we good. It was our first tournament. I think we're good. So I'm kind of spent for this weekend, man. I need a little bit of rest. CP the artist, you say Sagaba Konate. Okay, I'm going to check it out and add him in there for the second round. Add it in there for the second round. But guys, I'm gonna jump on out, man, because I'm kind of tired. Like I said, it's been a crazy weekend. But I want to give a shout out to Siobhan Robinson, Justin Alba, the French Unicorn, and of course Monty Knicks hit me with the big super chat, man. So I appreciate it. And so I want to give a shout out to you guys for the super chats. Thank you. It's always appreciated. But I'm heading out. Let's be easy. We play again on. When's our next game? Our next game is tomorrow night. I will be on tomorrow night. I'll catch you guys tomorrow night. Will I see the game tomorrow night? I may or may not. I may have basketball practice tomorrow night. Depends on if we get the gym time. You know what I mean? But regardless, I'll be on. So I will catch you guys tomorrow night. Want you guys to be easy, get some rest. Got to work tomorrow. All those things. And I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Peace. If you like this stream, subscribe below. Ring the bell so you can get a notification anytime that I'm live. Check out these videos over here. I kind of lost what I was going to say. Check out these videos over here. Stay updated on the New York Knicks. Peace, y'all.